So thank you, Paul, for speaking to Arabian Resale and Gadget Voice today. Paul Collins is the General Manager for Middle East and Africa at Acer. So thank you once again, Paul, for speaking to us.
Thank you very much, Chris. It's always a pleasure to chat to you, and it's great to be here.
Thank you. So in this interview, we'll talk about the new products that Acer has launched this year, the markets the company is focusing on, the gaming market, how has it evolved in this region for the past couple of months, the plans for 2021, the new products in terms of new range that Acer has launched, including the energy drink and the gaming platform. So let's start the brief about the new products that Acer has launched this year.
Right. So it's been more of an evolution year for us in terms of working on our standard range of gaming products and evolving those rather than a complete revolution of new products. I think largely that's potentially because of COVID and the industry trying to catch up with supply. There's a lot more serious things to focus on right now. And also the cancellation or not the cancellation, but the changing of certain major events in the year, like CES didn't happen on a face-to-face basis and things like that. But in that we have got some very exciting updates. So our new range, range of Nitro 5 and 7 has both been upgraded to the Intel 11th generation and the new AMD 5th generation CPUs with the latest NVIDIA chipsets in there as well. So there's been a strong evolution as keeping ahead of the market with that. I think our major change in focus, or not change in focus, but addition to our line, has really been the thin and light type of gaming devices that we've come out with. So if you have we have a look at our new 14-inch Triton, which is really looking at the people who are maybe working by day and doing some serious gaming by night. So again, it's trying to address that portion of the market, maybe not the highest level of gamers, but people who are looking to entertain themselves, to maybe do a little bit of learning, a little bit of studying, and some serious gaming as well with that. So those have really been two of our key focus areas. Our mainstream series, the Helios as well, have also been updated with the latest GPUs, and we've had some quite exciting. Again, we always talk about our cooling and our fan technology. There's been some enhancements to those AeroBlades as well to keep the products as cool as possible, and we can crank up things and make them faster and faster whilst maintaining a working unit. So those have been the major focuses in the gaming area.
So for 2021, has your strategy changed in terms of new markets opening up? We see Saudi getting a lot of gaming events, especially government supporting the gaming events as well. We have a lot of other markets as well which have opened up. So how has Acer's strategies changed in terms of market?
Yeah, very, very exciting for us. So we had phenomenal growth, as you've seen in the last year with gaming, as people moved more to working from home and entertaining themselves from home and things like that. And those major growth areas came in the UAE and in Saudi as well. What we're starting to see is big uptakes in some other markets. So do I believe those markets can grow even more? Yes, maybe UAE is reaching almost a saturation point where we're starting to really have to work very hard to entice new gamers and new users to the market. And also we've got a very dominant market share at around 26% in this area. So we're looking to maintain our position here and working on, which I'll discuss a little bit later, the ecosystem to try and attract new gamers to the UAE market. Saudi has still got a lot of legs. So I think Saudi is still a fantastic growth opportunity for us this year. We've also re-entered about 18 months ago, 2 years ago now, the Egypt market, and we're seeing some fantastic growth in Egypt in the gaming space as well. And then we're also a new entrant into the Qatari market post the sanctions. So we anticipate a lot of growth in that space. There's some other strange countries as well that also are attracting some attention from a gaming perspective. Iraq is one. So we're seeing a lot of good momentum in Iraq on the gaming side as well. So I think a lot of opportunity for growth right across our region in this gaming space, some more than others. Yeah.
You spoke about gaming changing a lot, like new markets like Iraq, for example, where companies wouldn't anticipate a lot of growth over there. Has that changed because of the pandemic, or do you actually see a lot of uptake in terms of new titles coming up, new, like VR, for example, is playing a lot of bigger role over there. Mixed reality is playing a bigger role over there. So do you see, because of the technological advancements and the prices coming down because of mass adoption, is that one of the reasons?
Chris, I think you're right. I think everything is adding towards this, or to this. So if we look at a market like Iraq, I think the relative stability that they've been enjoying over the last period. I think the pandemic as well, where people are being forced to entertain themselves slightly differently to what they might have done before. But definitely, I think in this last year we've seen. And not a strong split, but we've seen a very strong comeback from the console players. So the console technology's improved incredibly. But I still think that the PC side offers a lot of more flexibility. So console being a made-for-purpose gaming device, the PC has got a lot of legs on the back of the fact that it can be a multiple type of device. So I think people are starting to enjoy the fact that they can study using the machine, they can work using the machine, they can entertain themselves, they can browse, and they can game using that same device. And in that, with the near gaming category, or the entry level gaming category. So as you quite rightly said, the prices have come down in one sector of that market incredibly. We're really addressing a very, very, very large sector of the population. Whereas 2-3 years ago, gaming, especially the Predator type of gaming, was seen as a very specialist niche part of the market. It really is now addressing a very large part of the market. So will this grow even more? Most definitely. We really anticipate that it's going to wedge itself as a mainstream part of the market.
Okay. You also announced the Planet 9 gaming platform as well. What is that, and how does it fit into your overall strategy in this market?
That's a very good question, and it comes to how we're going to grow and entrench our dominant position in the more sophisticated markets. So I think the way to really entrench ourselves is via the gaming ecosystem, and you will see that we've done a number of things. We had our first gaming competition, or serious gaming competition, here in the UAE and Saudi last year, the Predator League, run on the ESL platform. Which was fantastic. We had, I think there was a couple of hundred teams that signed up, and we had semi-finals and finals and announced a winner and things like that. So that's one part of it where I believe we will, as Acer and as Predator as a brand, will entrench ourselves more with the gamers and make ourselves more relevant to the gamers. And Planet 9 is the second part of that. So Planet 9 being a university, for want of a better word, or more of an area where gamers can meet and greet and get mentors, get advice, and be grown from entry level gamers to professional level of gamers. This is a very, very important part of our ecosystem. So part of the prize money for that Predator League championship we ran last year was being signed up onto Planet 9. Planet 9 it's a fairly new concept, and it started off in Taiwan. So it's growing slowly. Obviously it has to tackle some cultural issues. It has to tackle some language issues as it grows to be a global university. But as it's ready for us, we will grow it further and further in the region. So we are using it partially in the region, but we're waiting for it to do a little bit of catch up in terms of a slightly more Western product for right now.
Okay, something fun and innovative that has come out of Acer, especially the Predator lineup, is the Predator Shot, which is the energy drink.
Yes.
What is the idea behind that, and will this be available mass, like across supermarkets or something like that, or is it only restricted to gaming cafes?
Okay, that's a good question. So Acer over the last year to 2 years especially has really repositioned itself as a lifestyle brand. So no longer are we just a PC company, we're looking to be more of a lifestyle company. And this is another one of the products, like we've had the Thronos, like we've got electric scooters, like we've got air conditioning units, we've got all sorts of products like that. We're moving far more into that lifestyle area. Predator Shot is the next part of it. So we started off in the European region with one test market in Poland. We're now enjoying, I think, 12% market share there. So it's gone exceptionally well. And there they've had a multi-channel approach. So it's available in supermarkets, in internet cafes and gaming cafes in the gaming community as well. So yes, it's definitely got legs. It definitely is a product that we're hoping to have in the region soon. We haven't been informed as yet, but I think there will be very shortly the next wave of countries that it becomes available to. So as soon as we get it, we'll definitely send you a tin to try out. But I think sometime this year we might have some good news around that.
Okay, we briefly spoke about AR and VR, helping the gaming market grow. What kind of role does Acer play in this whole proposition?
So we have historically been quite involved in VR. We had a company called Star VR a little while ago, and a lot of close associations. We remain on the outskirts of this part of the industry, so we don't have a very powerful AR or VR offering at the moment. However, it is very important part of the gaming and the entertainment industry. We're really waiting to see, I think, for it to become more mainstream. So it's a little bit of a chicken and egg situation. It's still, as far as we can see, is not been a strong mainstream uptake by gamers. It's an outlier part of the market. So there's certain of the games run VR and AR very well. A lot of the games don't. So we're waiting. It's, as I said, a little bit of a chicken and egg. We will push it very strongly once it becomes far more mainstream. But for the moment, I still think the technology has a year or two to develop before it becomes truly mainstream.
Okay, in terms of your plans for 2021, what would you like to do differently when you compare what you've done in 2020?
Well, we'd love to get more stock. We'd love to improve our supply chain. So I think all efforts from all vendors, truthfully, but certainly from Acer, is to improve our supply chain, improve our reliability in terms of getting product into the market. There's still a huge amount of pent-up demand. There's not a lot of good choice for a consumer out in the marketplace now. The stock tends to be spiky. It comes in and then disappears and things like that. So that's definitely something that we can do a lot better. From a strategy perspective, we will definitely be pushing the gaming side. Where we've grown really nicely now and it's proved to be a fantastic success is on our gaming monitors. So we really have started to take a dominant position in this territory and in fact worldwide as a gaming monitor brand, and we have some really fantastic technologies. They're 40-inch screens running exceptionally high refresh rates and things like that. So that you'll see far more of that in the gaming space. And then we have products like the Thronos Lite, which is the gaming chair, which is a massage chair and an entertainment type of chair. Now, if you add that to the other parts of the ecosystem that I was discussing, the gaming events, the gaming communities, Planet 9, I think those are things that we can do far more in a far more consolidated fashion, Chris, to improve our gaming position. I'm only speaking about gaming now, our gaming position in the market over the next year.
Thank you, Paul, for speaking to Arabian Resale and Gadget Voice. It was nice having you, as always, on our show, and we look forward to speaking to you again in the future.
Fantastic, Chris. Always a pleasure speaking to you, and thank you very much for the opportunity. We really do appreciate it here at Acer. Thank you.